If you're over 40 and trying to get pregnant, I want to talk about the importance of resilience on your motherhood journey. This is an important discussion to have because women in their 40s often get discouraged way too quickly and in fact set themselves up for failure with their expectations. Resilience is not just about enduring and white knuckling through the suffering and the struggles. It's about how you bounce back and ideally grow from the challenges that you're facing. It's critical to have so you can maintain a positive mindset and keep yourself aligned with your desires, your goal of having the baby, even when you're faced with setbacks. The inner strength and positive outlook that comes from resilience attract the energy, the opportunities, the knowledge, and the people that allow you to achieve your goal of becoming a mother. This is not something that happens just with your input. Other things need to come into play in order for this journey to be successful. More than anything, resilience is about the ability to look at your circumstances, even if it's not to your liking or preference, from a positive point of view, or if you really can't spin it in a positive way, then look at it with neutrality. It comes from your ability to remove judgment of any situation, especially of it being wrong if you don't like it. The reason is because if you label a situation as something that should not be happening or that it's wrong, you won't be able to turn it into something that will lead you to your next step towards success. So let me share some common expectations that can create challenges on your motherhood journey in your 40s. And let's start with the expectations. The biggest expectation by far and away is that you think you're going to get pregnant more quickly than is realistic. Many women in their 40s are told by their gynecologists to seek fertility treatment immediately. However, if you have a doctor who's more progressive, you're told to try for 6 months before going to a fertility doctor. That's a completely unrealistic timeline. For the vast majority of women, it's not going to happen in 6 months. Think about it this way. You wouldn't expect a 20-something-year-old to get pregnant within 6 months, much less someone who's in their 40s. It can be done, but that's going to be more the exception than the rule, especially if you're making conscious changes to your nutrition, you're adding supplements, and you're adjusting your lifestyle, all of which take at least 3 months before they have any significant impact on your fertility. If you're in a stable, loving relationship with a partner whom you absolutely adore and love, and you're feeling really good about your life, you should be giving yourself at least a year to try naturally. Yes, even in your 40s. I know doctors will never tell you that, but in my experience, getting pregnant within a year of trying naturally is very realistic, especially if you're in a great relationship and generally feeling good about where you are. The big caveat in this circumstance is that you have to ignore your age while you're trying. You don't even think about it, because the more you worry about it, the less likely you'll be successful. So just put your age out of your mind, put that number in a lockbox and just throw away the key. It's not something you can change anyway, so don't even make it an issue. The second expectation that can create a lot of struggle is that you think IVF is way more successful than it is. It's something that you have to prepare yourself to do multiple times. It doesn't mean that you can't get pregnant on your first try. However, this is a numbers game. The more chances you give yourself, the better your odds. Based on the statistical success of IVF in women in their 40s, which is in the single digits, it's very rare for a woman over 40 to get pregnant on the first IVF cycle. What I suggest for you to reframe the first cycle is it's just a trial run to see how you respond to the medications and the process of IVF. If you get pregnant on that first try, amazing and awesome. If you don't, it's not a big deal. It was really more to get feedback to see where you are. And so with the information that you get from that first cycle, you and your doctor can adjust the protocol. And I recommend looking for doctors who offer low stimulation or mini IVF protocols, which tend to work better on women in their 40s than the traditional IVF approach of high dose stimulation that works for younger women, but not as well when you're in your 40s. And it's just because those high levels of medications can shut down the ovaries. There aren't that many doctors who offer the low stim approach, so you may have to look outside your immediate area to find a doctor that will work with you. So let's talk about the challenges now that I've addressed two of the biggest unrealistic expectations, to be honest. Let's talk about the challenges. And those are going to be the negative pregnancy test, your period or your menstrual cycle coming, a failed fertility treatment cycle like IVF or insemination. The main thing is that you cannot treat each of those occurrences as a reflection of your fertility or representative of your ability to get pregnant. Again, to repeat, because it is so important for you to remember, this is a numbers game. The more you try, the more chances you give yourself to be successful. What I see happening with women is that their disappointment grows with each menstrual cycle, which will directly impact their success. Meaning that the more disappointed they get with each period that they get, the less likely they will be successful. So instead, you have to wipe the slate clean with each period or menstrual cycle. Just brush yourself off and say, next month or next cycle is a new chance. Don't bring in the disappointments of the past because they're going to affect your attitude in the present moment, which in turn influences your future. To quote Wayne Dyer, the wake does not drive the boat, which is basically saying that the past is a trail that you leave behind, much like the wake of a speedboat. It's a vanishing trail that's temporarily showing you where you were, not where you are now, and where you can be. So you must remember to leave the past in the past, to let it go. Don't bring it as baggage into the present moment, because if you do that, it's going to affect how your future will unfold. And I know that not being affected by the outcome is really difficult, especially when you're doing fertility treatments, because you're investing so much money, your time and energy into that one cycle. But to be honest, from the spirit side, the perspective of your body, from the baby side, you don't get extra points for doing IVF. Your chances don't increase to match how much money that you've spent. In fact, at a certain point, there's a diminishing return because your ovaries and body are just too tired from the overstimulation. Remember, your body is designed to ovulate 1 egg at a time, maximum 2 eggs as an anomaly or if twins run in your family. But for the vast majority of women, it's going to only be 1 egg at a time if left to your own devices. So you have to treat the IVF or insemination as you would a normal menstrual cycle. No more, no less. I know that's really hard to hear, but removing the emotional attachment to the cycle and the attachment to the outcome is going to dramatically increase your chance of success. Your goal is to remain neutral and to be resilient. In practicing resilience, you learn the art of adaptability. You embrace change and disappointment. You pivot when it's necessary, and you always move forward with grace, no matter what the circumstances or the situation presents to you, and whether or not they're your preference. Even if they're not your preference, move forward with grace and kindness to yourself. This adaptability is crucial on your baby journey, where the conditions and the circumstances can change very quickly and very unexpectedly, as you may have already experienced. Your resilience is what's going to ensure that you remain aligned with your desires, your vision of having your baby, and it allows you to adapt your strategies while keeping your eyes on the ultimate prize. So stay positive, stay light on your feet, and keep looking forward.